Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's going on? What's going on, my family? What's going on? Hey, welcome to another brainstorming session. We always bring you the latest information when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, economic growth, and more for the most part. We try to bring you the dopest special guests. We got another special guest on with us tonight, and man, I can't wait to dive in. First, I want to make sure you guys definitely don't forget to check out some of the updates on the website. We've been doing a lot of moving, a lot of shaking and grooving within the community. And hey, man, we've been telling a lot of stories. So check out M.O.B TV. Check out some of the exclusive interviews that we just dropped. Check out some of our programs that we've been doing. Speaking of programs, shout out to all of our members who've been doing an immaculate job, staying consistent this year, and really just knocking off those, checking off those boxes, man, making sure that we reach those goals. Check out some of our, make sure you guys check out some of the resources that we do have. All you got to do is apply, and that'll pretty much give you access to some of our business funding resources, some of our business plan and strategy resources, and give you access to some of our AI automation systems, give you access to our marketing and availability as far as advertising and marketing, our social media management teams. Definitely big shout out to them. They've been doing a lot of cleaning people's social medias and helping them really just do the things that they don't really want to do or they may not have time to do. That'll also give you access to our custom merchandisers. As you can see, shout out to get you some rich friends that have been really booming down there in Georgia. We got plenty more that we've been working with, just to make sure that we can just also come together and support each other. For the most part, applying for our memberships, I'll also give you access to our video and audio production teams, our photography teams, and our website design and graphic design teams. So we've been doing a lot of work, this year, creating and just helping you guys, create the the dream that you really want to get. So it's all about making sure that we reach those goals. Shout out to everybody that's been working through our modules, all 12 of them. And that'll be something that we touch bases on tonight as well. Some of the questions that we'll be asking our special guests will be based around our 12 modules, and making sure that we just checking off those boxes again, man. So make sure you guys check out all of our programming, our upcoming events. I'm already in 2026, man, and so make sure you guys check out our events tab. Check out some of our members like Jasmine. We've been doing a lot of work with Jasmine and Serenity, the owners of Serenity Nail Polish based out of New York. And man, it's just people like them that just keep us going and keep us motivated. Keep us tapped in with what's going on. Figuring out different ways that we could just be creative and hit our market. For the most part. So again, make sure you guys check out M.O.B TV. We've got a lot of different stories, a lot of different content. It's pretty much like a entrepreneurship Netflix, bringing you all the latest stories from different entrepreneurs, different business owners, different engagers, different influencers. So make sure you guys check out M.O.B TV. And make sure you guys download the Enterprise Theater channel on Roku TV as well, man, while you're at it. They've been doing their thing and, really just, providing a platform for upcoming filmmakers and, creators like ourselves. So make sure you guys check them out. Also, make sure you guys check out our resource center. Definitely got a few ebooks that you guys could use, especially if you're building a business and just your credit. We got a few different companies that we've been partnering up with that kind of give you that kickoff, and to make sure that you're getting those resources so you can access the funding that you need. And again, make sure you guys check out. I really want to make sure I give a huge shout out to our friends in the mob donors. We've been doing a lot, this year, making sure that we just, um, continue on with our mission. So, shout out to them as well. If you're looking to, become a friend of the mob, make sure you guys click on that link. It's an easy application, and it'll pretty much make sure that you guys are locked in with us throughout the year, and making sure that we, going together. So, again, make sure you guys check out some of our sponsored members affiliates. They've been doing a lot of great things in the community. Um, so yeah, you can go right on our site, click on learn more, and it'll take you right to their website so you can check out some of the great things that they've been working on. And if you want to become an affiliate, make sure you go on our website. And yeah, it's just simple as 1, 2, 3. The more people that we bring into the community, the better. So as we grow, we want to make sure that somebody next to us and somebody that we're connected with is growing as well. And then making sure that we're making the community stronger. So shout out to all of the affiliates that we have so far that's really been doing their thing, and making sure that they've been bringing in other people in the community, and making sure that we're going together. So I really don't want to hold you guys up. I want to bring on our special guest. Um, Real quick, if you live with us, make sure you guys go up there. Make sure you guys, if you guys can hear as well, make sure you guys put the fire signs in the chat. If you live with us on YouTube, or Instagram, or TikTok, make sure you guys put something in the chat. Try and get some love. I want to bring on. Are you? Oh, yeah, Ken. What's going on, Ken? How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed, man. Highly favored, man. I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Hey man, I appreciate the time for real. Just really taking out the time and drop some gems, and really just connect with us. For the most part. For the people that don't know, make sure you guys, make sure you introduce yourself, and then let them know what it is that you do.
All right, so by trade, I'm an author. I'm publishing a book called Forged by Adversity. It's scheduled to be out in the springtime of next year, 2026. I'm a motivational speaker. Um, I'm a personal trainer, and I'm going through a mentorship and coaching course right now just because I just want to invest into myself and become a better version of myself so that I can uplift and empower, the upcoming next generation so that, we can build more of our community up so that they, could so that they can have the path that, we didn't have. We didn't, we wasn't I know for me myself, I wasn't fortunate enough to have mentors growing up. So I want to be the change that I want to see. And that starts by, in getting the knowledge and investing into myself so that I can invest into others. So that's that's what I'm doing.
No, I definitely agree. And definitely make sure I definitely want to shout out some of our mentors that's been really just helping with our community. I think it's super important. And it's so crazy. I didn't really understand having a mentor until I got some. Later on in my career, and I think that's super important to have somebody that kind of really guides you through the ups and downs, because it's hard, especially just building anything is a process. So having that extra support is super important. So yeah, shout out to all of our mentors and advisors at the mob. Make sure you guys tap in. Hey, but real quick, Myron, what's some of the things that really excites you about your industry and about what you do? I know you talk about tapping in with the community, tapping in with the youth, but what's something specific or what's something else that really excites you about what it is that you do?
What excites me is just being able to spread the message, being able to uplift others going through adversity. You know, it was something about just helping people get through situations where they feel like there's no hope for them. You know, I feel like we all been in a situation or have gone through adversity, and at one point in time we were at the point of giving up. You know, some people, some people probably did. You know, so for me, um, being able to just spread what I've been able to overcome, and knowing that as long as you invest into yourself, as long as you see more for yourself, block out all distractions, put God first, there's nothing that you can't overcome. And for me, I'm a living testimony. I'm a living witness that no matter how much adversity you go through, and no matter how hard times may get for you, never give up, man. Never give up. It's always a plan. It's always a light at the end of the tunnel, you know. And I meet a lot of younger guys. I meet a lot of people, and they look at me and they try to figure out, man, you don't even look like you've been through what you've been through. You know, that's a blessing right there. You know, that's a blessing right there. So I just for me, keeping everything together, spreading awareness, and just like I said, being the change that I really wanted to be the change that I want to see. You know, you know,
I love
that's
that.
what exciting. That's really what excites me. You
I
know,
love I love that. So real quick, if you could instantly remove one major obstacle in your business, what would it be?
one major obstacle that if I removed it, uh, finances. I mean, um, if money wasn't an issue, I'd be able to help more. You know, so and that's part of, for me, getting financially literate, getting the knowledge about investing and being around mentors who are able to guide me and coach me in certain areas, um, on how to manage money, because money management is important. Having financial literacy, that's important. You can make all the money in the world, but if you don't know how to manage it and budget it, it ain't gonna get you nowhere.
You hit it right on that hat, for sure. This is something that we talk about all the time. This is actually one of our 12 modules. Finance, financial literacy is super important in our community. And it's one of the big three, I call it the big three, one of the big three obstacles that I see all of the time. When I talk to different business owners, that's one of the biggest obstacles most business owners have is accessing capital, and making sure that we have enough capital to really do what we need to do, man. I think all of us start off with a dream and start off with that passion, and what else we gonna make things shape, regardless.
Yeah.
But it became, a common denominator that I've been, seeing over the years, and that's why we really dropped, one of our ebooks, Business Credit Ain't Scary. The guide to, legally get in the bag, for the most part, and really just to walk them through the process of, uh, building, and making sure that you have a structure to build your business credit and also build your personal credit. And not also just build it, but actually know what to do with it. I think a lot of us mess up our credit because we don't really absolutely, we don't know how to really operate, and we don't have a strategy when we do, receive, some money or credit card or something like that. We kind of just, blow it off, and then we end up in debt. And then we end up in that because we bought the wrong things or we invested in the wrong things. So, like you said, man, I think knowing and having that knowledge on, how to access this funding, but also how to utilize it in the right way where we can, get accumulate some good debt and be able to, reinvest in the business and making sure that we can get some profit off of it, and be in a better position. So, we walk our members through that, to make sure that they're not just accessing the funding, but they know what to do with it once we able to access some real capital. So, and you really hit it on the head. That's really super important, for especially our community. That's something that we really like. But hey, we getting it together, man. This is what these sessions is about. There's a lot of people waking up, right now. So we're definitely in a better situation. Especially speaking of, a better situation. 5 years from now, how would you define success for your business, and what do you feel like is the biggest barrier standing in the way right now?
5 years from now, I would see myself as a best-selling author. I would see myself as one of the top motivational speakers in our generation. I know that's saying a lot, but that's just the vision that I have for myself. I would see I would see the nonprofit being very active in the community. Um, I would see I also have a trucking business as well. I'm still getting that off the ground, but I would see that thriving, and just traveling around and mentoring the kids in schools, going to YDCs and all those just different camp, basketball, football, any type of sports, because I'm an avid sports. I love sports as well. Um, Seeing myself as just being that figure, that big brother, that person that they could gravitate towards, and not feel like, hey, he ain't been through what I've been through. I've been through everything you've been through. You see what I'm saying? And just being that person that they can reach out to, connect with, and say, hey, I got a question, or can you help me see me through this situation? You know, um, my only the obstacles that I see that could possibly hinder that from happening is just me losing focus. Being procrastinating. Because sometimes we get distracted with the worldly things that's going on. We kind of tend to put things on the back burner. We could sometimes tend to procrastinate. We could have a plan but not execute. So sometimes we be our own worst enemy. Sometimes, So um, I just, for me, I just I want to be around like-minded people with the vision, um, that all want something. And I feel like you are who you hang yourself or who you surround yourself with. So if I'm surrounding myself around positivity, around people that are executing, that see where they want to be, who have a vision, who know what they want. If I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it's me. I'm the oddball. You feel what I'm saying? It's not going to be because the circle that I'm that I'm in is wrong. I'm gonna be my own detriment. And for me, I want to hang around nothing but assets, you know?
Assets over liabilities, for sure, for sure. I love it. I love it. I love the whole vision, man. I think we have a similar vision. Especially when it comes with the youth. We have a STEAM project that we put together, where we, pretty much just touching in on science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, and then we're gonna be tying in a lot of self-defense, as well, and tying in, of course, entrepreneurship. Because I think these are the pivotal elements when it comes to building a society and building economic growth. So we can get the kids, and not even just the kids, adults too.
Absolutely.
These things, I think it's going to be next level, and it's already had, it's already been next level. We already been tapping into some of those programs, and, especially with the science. We've been doing a lot of things with agriculture. I'm actually one of the directors of Noble Shanghai Farms. So shout out to them. And they've been building farms all over, helping people build, sustainable, and really get into sustainable. And then, of course, we've been, really tapping deep into, on the tech aspect, we've been tapping deep into AI. So, shout out to all our stack developers and, all of our AI consultants that we've been working with. And, all of the AI tools that we've been working with, it's been next level. So we've been really getting our people in on this next level, on this next wave, and not even just the next wave, this wave that we already on, that we've been on, for a long time now. So that's where we at with it, man. Speaking on next level, I really want to touch on some questions based more around our 12 modules. I want to touch on branding real quick. What's the most common branding mistake you see entrepreneurs make, and what's the best approach
What you said? One of the mistakes that we see entrepreneurs make
when it comes to branding?
with branding. I would think one of the mistakes that I could say that making that branding is probably you could not utilize your resources or not. How should I put this? You could have a good brand and not network with the right people, and it don't go anywhere. So I would say networking is a big thing in branding. Um, it takes money to brand. Also, just seeing the course, seeing it through. Um, that's a big one. Um, and to be more specific on it, um, let's say Nike, right? Nike, um, been around for what, since the '70s, since the '80s, something like that. They had to implement a good system. You see, a system is very important, I think, in marketing as well. So if you don't have the right system, if you don't have access to marketing, if you don't have the right people in place, it's all really kind of correlates together. But having a very good system, I feel, is very important. And if you don't have a right system, I feel like marketing, branding is going to be kind of hard.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I agree. Systems is definitely key, especially when it comes to branding, advertising, marketing. And our members already know how to get down. That's why we're very skeptical, and very, detailed when it comes to our outlines, making sure we checking off those boxes and keeping up with our production, our progress. At the end of the day, is super important to make sure that we have our production meetings every week. So we just make sure that we're on the same page. And I feel like I talk about this all the time, but it's always good to have that accountability partner. Somebody that's gonna make sure that it's consistent all the way across the board. Because consistency is super important when you building a brand and you touching the people. You talking to the people. So real quick, I want to touch on business planning. How often should an entrepreneur revisit a business plan, and what's the biggest red flag? When it's that it's time to update.
Your business plan, in my opinion, you should be looking at your business plan every couple of weeks or so. Um, because it could be subject to the business. As the business grows, things can change. As you If you have a vision, you're gonna constantly be changing. You're gonna constantly be looking to see where you can improve. And if you're not following up with the plan, if you're not seeing what needs to be critiqued, if you don't have people to that you can follow up with, because it ain't just your eye, it's other eyes that are looking as well. And having people that have your best interest and have the business in mind, who can see what you can't see, who and can give you who can give you the proper feedback and let you know, hey, you could do this better, you could do that better. That's something. Those little things like that can go a long way in ensuring that your business is meet in reaching um the expectation that you have. So um, I would say at least every few weeks or so. You know.
I love that. I love that. And we get different answers. I think it's no wrong answer. I think it's, and especially, we have so many different people from different industries on that we dive in, and it's so great to really hear different aspects and different point of views always. So, I always like to say, quarterly, definitely making sure that we tidy up. It's always something that you're changing or something that you have. It's always something that you have to adapt to. Also, having your plan aligned with what's going on is super important. Real quick, I really want to go on a customer experience because your thing is all about good. What's one small experience that really left a lasting impression.
I'm sorry, the last part you broke up. You said what? What's the last part you said?
No, so what's one experience that really left a lasting impression on
One experience. Um, I would say when I was in the airport. I was at the airport and I had mistakenly left my bag. Um, and security had picked my bag up, and they, a lot of times at the airport, leaving your bag down for an extended or for a period of time, security so high, they'll come pick it up just to make sure you ain't, got any illegal stuff or bombs or Joe, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just because the
it? Right.
time that we're in, So when I went to go try to retrieve my bag, they told me that I needed to go to the front desk or information desk. So I go to the information desk and they had searched through all my stuff, and I realized that they had rummaged through my stuff. I wasn't worried about nothing. I just was making sure that everything was secured. So the lady, the lady at the desk and the officer, they went through my stuff. They went through my portfolio on my briefcase, and they said, "Are you a motivational speaker?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I am an aspiring motivational speaker." I had, because I had a lot of notes in there. I always try to write positive stuff in my briefcase and stuff like that because I want to, in my mind, I already see myself as that. So it's all about your mind. And for me, I'm constantly writing down notes. I'm constantly keeping myself, reassuring myself like, hey, this is what becoming. I'm becoming this. This is what's happening. So they asked me that, and I was kind of surprised at first because I wasn't at the time, but I was already seeing myself as such. So they said, yeah, I said, yes, I am. I'm becoming. And they said, I could tell because of what you had. Obviously, they had went through my stuff. They clearly went through and seeing the notes and papers that I was writing and just getting ready for, keynotes. I had keynotes and stuff that I was practicing and preparing for. So I guess for me, when they when they came to me and they asked me was I a speaker, and I said yes, and they, they applauded me, and just saying like, you know, we love what you're doing. We love what you're trying to do. We feel like you're going to be a great fit. The community needs it, and just to have that support, and just for somebody who don't even know me, and just in a situation that I thought was bad, not necessarily a bad situation, but just a situation where I almost thought I lost my property, so I was kind of discouraged. But in all actuality, God had turned that to good, because I was able to get more exposure. I was able to get leads to other future gigs and stuff. So they said, "What's your name? I want to write your name down because it's a school that I would love for you to go speak at." And so I said, "Wow," I gave them my name, and they said that I feel like you're gonna do great work, and that we want you to keep up, and we're gonna be following you. We want to make sure that you're doing what you say you're gonna do. And so for me, that was kind of I look back at that and say, man, God made no mistake. Everything happened for a reason. So I would look at that and say, that's one of the when I when everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, I'm gonna look back at that moment and say, man, that was more like a rest assuring for me, like I'm on the right path, I'm on the right track, and just to keep following the course, you know, keep on believing in yourself. Know that what you have at plan, know that you can overcome it. If you can see it, you can achieve it, you can touch it, you can have it. So
Sure. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's a big one, man. I love that whole. That's just motivation. It just goes to show you, man. Confirmation is everything. Sometimes you need that confirmation, and it'll happen just like that out of nowhere. From people that you don't even know. And that's when you know is that confidence. And sometimes it happens from people that you do know. You might somebody that you know that don't know that you was thinking about doing what you was trying to do. They give you that confirmation. So it's always good to have that for sure, man. Let's talk about funding and financial growth. What funding opportunities do small business owners often overlook, especially in underserved communities?
I became aware of like grants. I know some people overlook grants sometimes. That could be something that could be beneficial. I know there are a lot of grants for small businesses out there. You just have to um have to look for them. They don't always fall in your lap. you know um there are people out there um who if they see the vision, they see what you're trying to do. You might have somebody, if the universe aligns it, if they really see the vision, you might have an angel person just come out the blue and just say, hey, I love what you're doing, how can I support? you know um God works in mysterious ways. I mean, like you said, you touched on business credit, but not a lot of businesses have been opened up long enough to get certain types of funding. So um those are.
That's why we tap on unconventional. We really get down. Not just touching on the jargon, but we really get down to specific ways. Because grants is one way. To really gain access to funding, but it's also lines of credits. Especially if you just starting off, it's still lines of credit out there that you can get, that's that you can use as a stepping stool to maybe advertise your business, put together a marketing plan, and to increase the sales of your company so you can make more money and pay that money back. And most businesses, especially like if you really look into a lot of our content, we're talking about unconventional ways because we do deal with a lot of smaller businesses, a lot of newer businesses that may not be able to walk into Chase Bank and get a business loan. because they, it's different things, it's different steps to it, but we walk you through those different steps, little tips and tricks, that we talk about, and that not even nothing, things like trade lines and stuff like that that you can add on to your report, and to strengthen your age, stuff like that. So going into and like you said, it all goes back to mindset though. Mindset is a huge one. That's actually one of our modules as well, but it's definitely a huge one because you definitely have to have a mindset, in order to obtain and retain your information too. Because the information is out there, but you have the mindset to, actually do something with it. It's crazy because we actually gave out, a few of our ebooks, and some people that took that information and actually did something with it. And some people do need that hands on too, and that's why we offer our memberships and stuff like that. Because some people do need, they can't just learn from an ebook or learn from a book period. They need that hands on. I'm one of those people as well. Um, it is, I think, being strategic with it. We also talk about angel investors, as well, like you was talking about. And somebody might, definitely love your idea, and that's why we talk, we really heavy on making sure that you have a business structure, and a business foundation to make sure you're ready for that. Because if you like today, if to like today, it's a major investor come, are you ready to do you have your business bank account and your EIN and your DUNS and all of that ready to accept and even jump into that partnership? You know, so that's huge, bro. I think you touched on a huge one when it comes to funding. Real quick, man, we talk about networking and partnerships a lot. Especially us. In your eyes, what makes a business partnership truly a win-win for both sides?
A win-win for both sides. A business partnership to me, when you both when you both have a vision and you both are fulfilled. Now, now you could go into it a few different ways. It all depends on what the end game and what the end goal is. I know in business, you're in the business to make money. So, um, but also in turn, some people have the money, but they don't have. They might not have certain connections, or they might not have certain. They might not have. How should I put this? They might be trying to expand in certain areas where you might have a strength that they might be weak at. So um in partnering with someone in business, um looking looking for a mutual outcome is in, let's say let's say I have money to invest in your business, but you have certain resources that I don't have, you know. So let's say we partner into a business we get a business, we get into business together, we able to partner together. Now we both have the resource and we both are able to make money off of the resource. You see what I'm saying? So that entails you're able to make more money because you're able to reach more people that you probably wouldn't have reached if you didn't have the connections. That makes sense. So I mean, I guess it all kind of just depends on exactly what it is you're looking to get in the end. Like I said, in business, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you in business to make money. You know, um, and sometimes you can reach some people can reach areas that certain people can't reach. You know, um, and sometimes some people know a lot of people, they just don't have the money. You get what I'm saying? So in business, sometimes all it takes is for a little push for this one person to go take off like a rocket. you know, and in turn with him, going up, is he's gonna be, is really you're gonna be going up too because y'all teamwork made the dream work,
All
So
the time, all the time, all the time, every time. We always talk about that. And being intentional about your partnerships as well is super important. But it goes back to that big three. Some people don't have the access to capital. Some people don't have the access to the knowledge, and some people don't have the access to the team to really, operate how they need to operate. They might have the budget, but they don't have the right person on their team to really make it click. So that's definitely something that I've really been paying attention to and figuring out different solutions, and figuring out, and it's the best time right now because we have AI agents and chat bots and different things like that now that we've been using, and it's been really helping with the productivity. And really just provide us a solution for somebody. Like most of our staff, half of our staff is AI.
hmm
So yeah, so now it's the next level. Real quick, man, what's some great advice that you would give somebody that's up and coming, that's really trying to build something right
great advice is my first thing first, believe in yourself, you know. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta invest in yourself. I mean, if you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect the next person to invest in you. So um, that's a big thing, and just also just like you say, stay consistent, stay positive. Keep your mindset has to be. You gotta really get rid of all negativity out your mind. You know, any type of slight doubt in yourself, you can manifest just more doubt in yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So just always put, for me, I'm spiritual, so I know the things that I've been through, I wouldn't have been able to get through if I didn't, have faith in the Most High, in a higher power. So, for me, that's just part of my that's part of my makeup. Um, I always trust in God, even in the darkest situation, you know, because those are the situations that gonna if you can show faith in those dark situations, you faithful then when things start to when the light starts to come, when you start to see better days, you know that hey, only God got me through this, nobody else. Sometimes God will put you in those situations just to test you, you know. So putting God first and then investing in yourself and doing right by people, and also, you know, paying it forward, giving back, just little things, man. And like I said, just never give up, man. You know, never ever give up, even when it don't seem like a door open. Sometimes a hundred doors might close on you before one door opens. You know, but like you say, just stay consistent, stay positive. In your mindset, you got to have a strong mindset out here in today's world because there's so many distractions. And it's going a lot of times it's going to be the people that you thought was having your back was the ones that really don't want you to win at all. You know, so um, it's just life lessons that you learn as you go. Um, I had to learn them, and every person that's successful, they all had to learn them too. I don't think nobody is exempt from learning those lessons. You know, so yeah.
now. That's real. That's real. That's real. I love it, man. Real talk, real talk. Real quick, man. Let the people know where they can find you. And if you can, real quick, shout out to the mob, real quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you can find me. Right now, I'm working on my socials. I got On Facebook, my name, first name, last name, same, Myron Admore. Um, I'm making a YouTube page right now as we speak. Everything gonna be Myron Admore. I got an ad motivation brand that I'm pushing. So ad motivation, ADMO Vation. Um, be looking out for that. It's coming real soon. Be looking out for my book that's coming real soon, Forged by Adversity. That's gonna be when I drop sometime, like I said, probably in the beginning of next year. It's gonna be a bestseller. And I'm gonna be out and about throughout Atlanta, man. Going to different events, networking. I've been kind of behind the scenes just because, I told myself I wanted to really, really lock in and just kind of stay behind the scenes. But when I do come out, I'm definitely gonna be out. You know, so I just thankful for the opportunity to be on this mob podcast and be able to drop some knowledge and be able to receive some knowledge too, because we all sharpening each other at the end of the day. So yeah, man. Facebook, Instagram. Um, I'm gonna be on another few platforms, but those are the main ones for right now. On YouTube, I'm gonna have a YouTube coming soon too. So I'm gonna be dropping videos. I'm gonna be going behind the scenes with what I'm working on, collabing with different people, and it's gonna be nothing but positivity and motivation, man. That's what's going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, King, for sure, man. Dropped a lot of gems tonight. And that's what it's all about, man. Getting together, making sure that we can, put our heads together, dropping gems, and figuring out what resources, can we actually pull together to help push each other forward. So I can't wait. Hopefully we can collab on some projects in the future, and hopefully we can, pull together some of our resources to help you out with the book, and, especially get out here, man. 2026, we got a lot of activities and events going on, not just in Atlanta, man. We're going global with this. Hey, get ready, man. I appreciate you guys locked in with us. That was live. Hey, until next time, my family, I'll talk to you
All
shortly.
right, King. Peace.